Our first honoree tonight is Dean Allen, the CEO of McKinstry. Dean, by all means, please come up. Under Dean Allen's leadership, McKinstry has expanded into 15 states and has become a national leader in the field of building efficiency. He established McKinstry University to provide employees with training, invested millions of dollars to provide them a world-class work environment, and gives them free premium health benefits. In the course of his career, McKinstry has grown from a $20 million company to an organization with 1,700 employees and $500 million in annual sales. The McKinstry Foundation has donated millions of dollars to support children, education, and the environment. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dean Allen.
No pressure being first. I'd like to thank my agent and, of course, the producer, director, and the rest of my cast. But seriously, I'm honored to be here, and I've had the opportunity to be at McKinstry for 37 years and to be the CEO for the last 20 or so, following in my father's footsteps, and it's been great fun. I'm actually a biochemist by training, a geneticist, so it's been a journey to learn how to sell toilets and air conditioning in the last few decades, but I do have some pearls of wisdom that I'd like to offer up to you. First of all, one of the things I learned really on is that you really just need sort of an average plan. And what I mean by that is that I think a lot of times in business people think about having to have some spectacular, patentable, proprietary thing to make their business be successful. And partially because most of my plans are average, I've learned that you really just need one that's, okay. Because of the other things that you're going to do when you lead a company. Nothing wrong with an average plan, doing something besides helping your customers, maybe saving the planet and other things would be good as well, but an average plan is enough. But there are some things that I think are really important if you want to be successful as a leader in business. And the first and second and third most important thing in business, kind of like they say in real estate, is location, location, location. In running a business, it's people, people, and people. And what I learned early on in a dirty little secret, since you suggested dirty little secrets are good to expose, when I, as a biochemist, I didn't know anything about the business that I had joined. And so it seemed like a really smart strategy to have people working for me that knew what we actually did and have a lot of really smart, capable people around me. And since I didn't know what we did for a living, I did just that. And it taught me very early that if you can have great people working for you and you can spend most of your time and most of your energy and most of your innovation around making sure that they are well taken care of and that they learn how to collaborate and respect each other and they learn how to stay focused on what the customer's problems are, that almost everything else takes care of itself. So that's sort of the first thing that I learned. The second thing I learned is that if you can figure out how to do something helpful for customers and stick around, instead of having to go sell them again and again, and really think about crafting your business around the kinds of things that your customers need, that's a really good strategy. And if the things that you add to your business along the way are things that solve problems that your customers present to you instead of ideas that you have, that's actually a pretty smart way to grow your business. And in that same context, I think taking risks that your customers either don't know how to take or can't afford to take, that you can, is a really important thing. I think a lot of times in business, people don't want to take risks. And I think it's actually really important to take risks for your customers. They're usually doing something other than what you do. And you ought to be pretty good at taking the risk in the areas that you work. The third thing, and there's only four, is to try and take on just the inefficiencies of the world. And the business I'm in is really a siloed business. There's designing and planning and fabricating and building and commissioning and servicing and operating these buildings. And there's just a lot of waste. And I think that just is the fountainhead of opportunity, is to think about how to change the way things are done for customers and for your people and really attack that It's good for your customers, it's good for your profitability, and it's good for America. And I think it can be the fact that half of all the energy we use in America is wasted, half of all the labor we put into getting things done is wasted. But attacking those inefficiencies and the innovation around that, I think, is important. And then the last thing that I would say, which is the most important thing to me, I guess second most important, I can't say two things are most important. I said people are most important, is to try and figure out how to do the right thing in your community as a part of your regular work. And I think when I was first in business, I thought a lot about at the end of the year, you would want to take your temperature and see whether you had a good year and whether you made any money and whether you could afford to do good things for your community. And I thought of that as sort of the barometer. And very early on, partially because I was lonely for infectious disease and biomedical research as a geneticist, I adopted the strategy that you should actually do the things that you want to do to help the community like every day. And that it shouldn't be something you do at the end of the year if you're lucky enough to have a good year, that you should embed that in. And the biggest joy I've had in the many years I've been at McKinstry, and especially the last couple decades leading McKinstry, is trying to grow up a group of a couple thousand young philanthropists at McKinstry that know that a part of a day well delivered is one that you are doing something positive for your community. And that's something that we try to strive to do every day at McKinstry. Thanks.